Okay, awesome. Cool. So time to reply is perfect for any agency dealing with generating leads for their customers, especially via outbound email campaigns like those sent and managed through HubSpot. And that's because while all of the metrics we need to track the typical performance of that email campaign, so your open rates and your click-through rates, are available in HubSpot itself, there's a gap that exists between the email automation campaigns and the performance of the sales reps that are really meant to respond to the lead once they bite by replying to one of those automated emails. So often what we've seen is that leads either go unanswered or the sales reps take too long to respond, by which time that person has lost interest or found an alternative solution, which would be very sad. With this in mind, we'd like to introduce Time to Reply's business email analytics software that will help you close this gap and ensure that every lead is responded to timelessly, and ultimately helping you as an agency assist your clients in improving their marketing spend return on investment. So a little bit more about us. Time to Reply is the world's leading business email analytics software that tracks email usage, volume, behavior, and reply time metrics. And it's also the only tool to provide real-time alerts for missed emails. I'm just going to speak a bit more about why responding to emails is important and why speed matters particularly. It's well known and researched and supported by our own research that we've seen with our tool as well and our own stats, that if you reply within 1 hour, you have 7 times more success than 2 hours and 60 times more success than if you reply within 24 hours. But the industry average response time is still hovering around 42 hours, which is shocking when you consider that 78% of sales go to the first company to respond. So in a time where we're dealing with, drop-in leads or, leads not being nurtured, and in a time where where everyone's counting their pennies, like we really can't afford to drop leads and not have great return on investment from our marketing spend. I'm going to speak a bit more about who Time to Reply is used by. It's used by sales, customer-facing, and supplier management teams who need to improve their email efficiencies. So these would be guys who make sales over emails, which a lot of us are doing now, of course, working from home and not being on the phone as much. It offers real-time reports and insights on both shared and individual business mailboxes. And it works across all email clients and environments. So your Office 365 guys, MS Exchange, and Google Workspace as well. It's also available as a cloud or self-hosted solution with integrations like HubSpot, of course, and an API. Great, so I'm going to move on to what we are for agencies. So of course we love it when agencies use and enjoy our products themselves and derive a lot of value from our products too, to close their own leads. But really we're there for you guys to wrap your services around selling into your customers' sales and marketing teams to drive their sales and marketing return on investment. And this will help you embed yourself deeply within your customers' business as well. Verticals we're strong in include IT and legal, real estate, manufacturing and logistics, insurance and financial services. But really, we've seen Time to Reply used by a variety of SME, mid-market, and even enterprise companies with mid to large customer and or sales teams. The key problem we solve are missed sales-related emails, lost revenue, poor marketing return on investment, and high customer churn. And we do that by helping support the closing of marketing-generated leads and support the metrics around outbound email campaigns. So we're there to bridge that gap between marketing and sales teams. From a price point of view, our product starts at just $15 per user per month. So it's very affordable, but of course this is not including the package services that you as an agency would package around that. And the way that agencies engage with us, like I've said, we love it when agencies use our products, and then of course they can resell and wrap services around, which I'll speak to you in a moment. I'm just going to quickly touch on why your customers need Time to Reply now. If your customers are spending money on lead gen and email marketing efforts, but ignoring the critical email metrics that actually impact sales and close rates, as well as customer retention, then this is a tool they need to complement their typical CRM stats that they're looking at within HubSpot. So Time to Reply really helps your customers focus on the entire sales funnel and really help that sales marketing joint funnel work in the best way possible. Of course, like I said as well, with everyone working from home because of COVID, we've actually seen a huge increase in our own stats of email-related activity. Last year, we saw it was up by 20%. And it's really not something that we're measuring. If we're spending a lot of time trying to sell over email, you need to be able to see as a manager what that looks like, how your team is productive, where they can pick up their productivity, and just open that black box of email. It's not something that we really track and measure, and it's something that we should be doing. Cool. So I'm going to speak a bit more about our HubSpot integration. So Time to Reply integration with HubSpot allows your customers to sync data to HubSpot to ensure that their customer reply time reporting is automatically updated and accurate within HubSpot. And then it pushes metrics into HubSpot like your average first reply time, your average overall reply time, and other email related metrics into custom fields into your contact database in HubSpot. It also creates tasks, and you can get notifications in HubSpot when a real-time alert fires off in Time to Reply, wherein an email hasn't been responded to within the time frame or the parameter that you've set or your customer has set. Cool. So I'm going to briefly go through our service tiers now, starting with service tier 1, which would be the one-time setup. So within this service tier 1, you would really help your customers get started on Time to Reply and really help facilitate the setup of everything. So I'm going to speak now about an account as an example where you would have around 20 licenses or 20 users. So all these hours and the pricing I suggest is for that. So what would you be doing? Aside from linking the mailboxes themselves or helping your clients link their mailboxes, you would define the admin hierarchy and ensure that the access rights are set up correctly. You would map the right teams and set up the right customer groups and supplier groups. You would set up the correct filters and all the different reports we offer, as well as those parameters as well. And then you would use that data and reports to deliver insights to your various customer or client teams and management to make sure that they're maximizing the positive impact that Time to Reply can have in supporting their own business objectives and their outbound email campaigns. So the time to set up, we would say around 2 weeks, potentially less if it's a fairly small team. Of course, this is driven by the number of mailboxes, the complexity, number of teams that want it or need it, and then client locations and any SLAs that your customers would want to manage with this. So that would be anywhere between $500, $1,500 for the initial setup. So moving on to service tier 2 over here, which would be monthly optimization and management. So this would be an account management kind of approach. Starting off, we'd suggest 3 to 6 months account management of Time to Reply. Of course, if your customers love it and they see value in it, which we strongly believe they will, you would extend this to be longer as well, up to a year, 2 years, however long. Before this, we'd suggest around 18 hours split between the 3 months. So you could look at charging around an extra $600 per month. Here you would integrate with HubSpot. Of course, you could do that initially as well, but you could refine the integration and dependent on the complexity of their usage of HubSpot as well. You would do continued monthly snapshot reporting and feedback sessions with the various teams, continuous filtering and reporting, expanded account reviews with templates that we would provide to you as well. Some interesting add-ons that we enjoy doing as well with our customers, and we'd imagine agencies, HubSpot agencies would love doing this too, would be testing your emails to maximize your contact success rate. So you could test things like your email subject line, your time of send, and see what that does to your client's contact success rate as well, which is quite exciting. You could also look at providing aggregated benchmark data to your clients as well, so best practice benchmark data. And then if you really love it, you could do some email performance coaching as well. I'm going to move on to the path here. Of course, it's success is hand in hand. We don't expect you to grab our products and start selling immediately without having used it yourself. So we give all of our agents and our resellers free NFR access, which is great. Our standard free trial of our product is 7 days as well. Moving on from that, we would move into a phase 2, so a beta test phase with 1 to 2 clients. We'd make sure you have all the support and free use you need to get 1 client or 2 clients up and running with time to reply. We'd be available to co-sell if needed, recommended, and support along the way to ensure your success as well. Of course, we'd be here to help with any onboarding, any demos, any reports and customization that you'd need too. Phase 3, we'd imagine to last between 45 and 90 days, depending on the complexity of things as well, and how many initial client counts you've got set up. But here you would create your own custom plans and programs around time to reply as well. Of course, you can run with what we've suggested, but there might be other things that you want to integrate it into. So you would add the services to your site and to your stack, nurture your other clients and new prospects, and close them, hopefully with the help of our tool as well. We'd be here to assist with everything, including hosting, one-on-one meetings, webinars, customized sales sheets, marketing collateral, whatever you need. And then phase 4 would be becoming a co-marketing partner as well. At this stage, we'd imagine the partnership to be flying, and you're loving it, we're loving it, and we'd start showcasing your agency services to our clients and doing some cross-selling as well, and showcasing your expertise to everyone that's in our database too. And of course, we've got a blog and we host our own webinars, and we'd love to invite you guys to co-host with us too. Cool. So I'm going to move on quickly to our tiers here. We've got 2 tiers. We've got silver and gold from an incentive structure. Commissions in year 1 would be 30% for silver and 40% for gold. Year 2 and 3, if you've got the same clients, we'd look at extending that as well and tweaking that a bit. We have both a host of marketing and product benefits for both silver and gold. On the marketing side of things, both silver and gold partners get access to co-marketing content and events, account mapping and co-selling, as well as newsletter announcements, while our gold partners also get their logo and backlink in our partner directory, co-branded assets and templates as well. On the product side, our silver and gold partners get free access to our products to use themselves within their own agencies, invites to all beta launches, and of course will be kept closely in the loop about all of our exciting product updates too. Our gold partners are also invited to join the product advisory team and really steer the direction of the product. They'll also be given direct phone support. They'll get a certification and a guest post blog feature or features. We'd love to open that up.
The implementation is pretty simple and easy, and we built the product specifically so there's no change to workflow. So an agency customer or an agency using time to reply, there's no change to workflow or any difference in the way that the business needs to work. So the challenge is really understanding what the data is that you will find most important as a business, and just scheduling and setting up the reports and the filters to make sure that the right people within the organization are getting the right information at the right time. So it's, as a customer or an agency, you need to have a good understanding of your customer and maybe the reporting structure within that customer to help them then set up the various scheduled reports that are enabled and the alerts that are enabled, and make sure that the right reports are going to the right people, and that the right levels of, I suppose, staff within those organizations are receiving the right information. So we've got customers that let everybody see everything. We've got customers where only the managers or the divisional directors get the full set of information and the individual agents will get a subset, and they'll only get access to theirs. So it's not really around understanding the value of it. It's more about understanding of all of the information that we can surface and report on, how to structure, filter that, and disseminate it.
Awesome.
And that's really, just knowing your customer.
Got it. Very cool. Okay, I'll let you get back to it. So quick showcase of the back end.
A quick recap. Service 1 would be the one-time setup of time to reply for your clients. So you'd ensure that your customers increase their sales by tracking and improving their first reply times and contact success rates in particular. Hours-wise, I'm speaking to an account set up for around 20 licenses. So all of my hours when I speak about these are around for that. So what you'd be doing, you'd be, of course, linking their mailboxes for them or helping them link their mailboxes, which is the first step to everything. And then from there, you define the admin hierarchy and ensure the access rights are set up correctly. You'd map the right teams and set up the right customer groups and supplier groups. You can do different groups for different forms of reporting. You'd set up the correct filters, reports, and parameters for them. And then you use that data to deliver insights to the team and to management to maximize the impact of time to reply and how it can work within HubSpot. And then you'd do monthly and quarterly account reviews with the various teams that have time to reply implemented as well. So we think that would take around 2 weeks or less to set up, depending on the size of the team, the size of the company, the number of mailboxes, the complexity of everything. But you could look at charging anywhere between $500 to $15 for that. So next would be service tier 2, which I'm going to jump to now. More of an account management process. We imagine around 18 hours split between 3 months, so $600 per month on top of your existing, what you're charging. And here you would maybe tweak your tech integration with HubSpot or any other tech integrations that they're looking at, depending on the complexity of that too. You do feedback sessions, you do continuous report filtering and optimization, and an expanded account review after 3 and then after 6 months with templates that we supply as well.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Continue there. And for those of you who just jumped in, we're going to drop a link to the back end to view the back end of time to reply, but this is the whole service track. So feel free to post any questions in the chat, but please continue.
Alrighty. Cool. I'm going to jump to how to get started then. So you complete an application on our time to reply partner portal, which we've linked over here. You'd start using time to reply yourselves within your own agency. We'd of course give you the free licenses to do that. And then you'd attend one-on-one onboard training with us. That would be around 2 to 3 hours for you guys, maximum around 6 hours to get really equipped and ready to sell time to reply. And after that, of course, you start packaging and promoting time to reply to your customers who need it the most. And we, of course, are here to help you prioritize your customer base, give some examples of good lead generation campaigns, and everything else you need.
We're around, what this is, really what it is, because email can go front-end marketing or back-end data and reporting and automation. So definitely want to do a quick elevator pitch on what time to reply is, and then really what the value add is, where the users, the clients of these agencies see the ROI when doing the implementation, right? So quick elevator pitch, what it is, and then where they get the value, where the end users get the value.
Cool. So yeah, so I mean, from the value side of things, time to reply is really helping you ensure that your sales teams are closing those marketing leads that they're getting from or managing through HubSpot. So we're the other side of the coin of your email marketing campaigns, but we help tie the whole thing together, and we bridge that gap between lead generation and actually making that sale close as well, especially over email.
Awesome. So sales and then reporting. A lot of our clients receive reports from us weekly, monthly. Mm-hmm. This is a huge value add for that report. You can add so much cool data to these reports. keep your clients coming back to you for more, hey, what can I do? I saw this hole here. I saw this gap here. What can we do, right? So that backs into a whole host of different types of services that you can do. What do you see typically users of time to reply integrating? HubSpot, obviously, but are there any other tools? Maybe name some of the native tools and some of the ones that you see in the workflow or in just the use of time to reply.
Cool. I'm going to let Dane handle this one. He's our head of product, and I know he's on the call. So if he wants to jump in and chat about that.
Yeah, and Andreas has a really good question there too.
Hi guys, sorry if you could just repeat the question. I was just responding to chat.
Yeah, I'm just asking mainly about the workflow and other tools that are in typical workflows for your users, right? So to give the agency an idea of when should I mention time to reply to my clients or this type of service? Well, if the client's using, Salesforce plus this or HubSpot plus that or Pipedrive plus that, that's a good time to say, you know what, this is going to be a huge benefit to you. And then also maybe some minimums, right? So if my client is doing X amount of sales email or customer success emails, that is a perfect opportunity to use this product. Anything on that?
Yeah, perfect. So what we find is where it's a good time to introduce time to reply is where guys are dealing with a lot of inbound leads, where it's typically, they're farming the leads out to sales agents. It tends to be a higher volume of leads where you're looking at, maybe upward of a single agent dealing with maybe 30 to 50 leads a month or more. This becomes more imperative because less than that you could potentially track without losing focus on what's going on. But the real thing here, and Andreas kind of asked this question of whether the guys will actually change their behavior. The behavior change is quite drastic actually with these salespeople, specifically if your customers use the reporting like our typical customers do, right? Which is they actually then sit down with their sales agents and say, guys, here's the time to reply reports. Here's the leaderboard. Your average reply time has been 5 hours this last month. I'm paying all this money to generate the leads. Look at how everyone else in the team is doing. Guys are responding in, on average, under an hour. You are potentially, losing out on opportunities. Like let's improve your time to reply to improve your, ultimately your sales and the commission you'll earn off the back of the sales and so on. So as soon as it becomes a visible thing that the team members can actually see, how they are responding, what their averages are. Before time to reply, nobody really knows. Like you'll sit in a company and you'll say, I think that the guys are responding quite quickly. You'll have a feel for who you think is fast and who's not fast. Some people are exceptionally fast on the initial reply, but then they are actually really slow in conversation and they could be dropping leads at that point in time. And then through email alerts, you'll start to see who is, maybe missing emails that should be responded to quite quickly. So our customers use these email alerts to say, right, if an email comes in from any of our top 100 customers, say, and we haven't had a response and nobody's responded within X amount of time, send an alert to a manager or send an alert back to the agent or create a task in HubSpot or get a notification in HubSpot. When those alerts start firing, then activity happens off the back of that because the people are like, oh geez, we know we've actually set this goal to respond in a certain time. I've now missed that threshold. I was about to do something else, but I actually need to get back to that particular inquiry because the filters have deemed that it's important to get back to. And in doing so, we've seen it ourselves, just by having a focus on responsiveness, you tend to rather actually get back to that customer who has taken the time to inquire rather than do another task and then get back to that customer. And that kind of gets the contact success rate in the sales funnel flowing a bit faster. In terms of other tech, when it's good to mention this, I really recommend watching the demo link. It shows how we actually use time to reply with HubSpot for some of our own email automation campaigns. And it shows the point at which time to reply kicks in and starts to track. So we actually can see that to a particular email in our workflow, we are taking about 2 hours and 30 minutes to respond to customers who reply. And we'd like to get that down. So, we set up alerts and so on to help us improve that metric. So anyone who's running email automation campaigns is a good candidate, be that through HubSpot, be that through MailChimp, be that through ActiveCampaign, etc. We have got a lot of customers who use HubSpot, Salesforce, other CRM systems. Some people use ticketing systems like Zendesk and those kinds of things, and they are actually frustrated with those ticketing systems because they're using them. The ticketing systems can be impersonal, where people know that they're dealing with a ticketing system, or they use the ticketing system, but then a lot of email falls outside of that ticketing system. So some stuff happens on Zendesk, but then there's still a lot of emails that are just going between individuals on their private mailbox. And the company has a blind spot there. And then, if it's synced with HubSpot, you might have some of the data in HubSpot, but then they're responding from other devices and they're not always necessarily tracking the emails and so on. So anyway, there's a long answer for you.
No, that's great. I hope that answered your questions. Thanks, Andreas, for posting that question. I think that got everything covered. So we're going to do a quick break. I'm going to stop